Denise, Denise, it's Denise, it's Denise, it's Denise, Denise, it's a podcast party, it's a podcast party, it's a podcast party.
I gotta say, I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Well, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. I'm your host, Denise Salcedo, and today we are going to be talking about the first ever AEW Dynamite here on the new TBS era. And Jesus, I was going to, we already kind of had a lot to talk about heading into this show, and kind of things went wrong at the end. And what you would think would be here celebrating, like, oh my God, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are AEW Tag Team Champions. But unfortunately, we saw Rey Fenix get hurt, which did not look pretty. I didn't catch it the first time because I was like marking out for the table spot. And all I noticed was that Rey Fenix pointed at something, but the camera went to something else right away. And so, I'm seeing all these comments pop in on Twitter, and I'm like, damn, I got to go watch the replay. So I watched the replay and I noticed Rey Fenix's arm, and it completely just man, it was not a good moment, not a feel good moment, definitely not something that you want to see happening. And it was very unfortunate. And I really hope, just right off the bat, I really hope that, it did not look pretty. So I kind of feel like saying that I hope everything is okay almost kind of sounds a little bit naive, just because the spot did not look pretty. His arm was completely just really messed up. So I just really do hope, though, that everything turns out okay, and that, Rey Fenix gets okay. I hope everything is okay. But let's go ahead and get into the show. There is still so much more to talk about. We're going to be talking about the main event. We're going to talk about the CM Punk line that may have been just a tad bit controversial. The opening match. There is just so much to get into. We're going to talk about all of that here today. But before we get started, I do want to remind you guys all that as you're here, as you join the stream, first of all, thank you so much for coming out to check out the show, especially live. It's always a good time to kind of get the emotions out and talk about what we just saw on television. So if you are here, please take part in the chat. I do read lots of comments as we go throughout the show. This is a very interactive stream. On top of that, if you would like, you are more than welcome to send in a super chat at any point throughout the stream. F4W Online does allow me to keep 100% of all proceeds from all super chats. And this is my first AEW Dynamite show of 2022. Well, everybody's, but either way, I'm very excited to talk about the show because, dude, so much went down. All right, but I'm gonna kick things off with the first couple of super chats, and then we're gonna go through everything in a very nice chronological format. So here we go. Let's get some thoughts, man. Let's see what you guys are saying. This is a major super chat from Cameron Mumford. Thank you so much to Cameron. Cameron Mumford says, their first show on TBS, and they delivered. Bryan Hangman, the match was already a match of the year candidate in 2022, and Jurassic Express winning the titles. Didn't see that coming, but well-deserved. Buckle up, guys. AEW will be straight fire. So we mentioned the fact that we have new AEW Tag Team Champions. I'll be honest. I mean, obviously I don't know as of right now, but I don't think that was supposed to happen. I think that I'm assuming that they called an audible given what happened to Rey Fenix and the injury, but I just went into this match. I don't think I was expecting to see Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus win the belts. For some reason, I was just expecting the Lucha Brothers to retain, but so I don't even know if that was supposed to be the legit call of the night, if we were supposed to see new AEW Tag Team Champions or not. I have no idea, but I legitimately went into this expecting Rey Fenix and Penta to essentially win. Sorry guys, I got a little distracted with a DM that I got. All right, so thank you so much to Cameron Mumford for kicking kicking us off with that first super chat, and we got a couple more that I need to pull up. This is another one from Cameron who says, "Hope Phoenix is okay because that was bad." Dude, man, it's so heartbreaking, and it's crazy because obviously every single time you see Rey Fenix, he really goes out there and really just like every single wrestler that goes into the ring puts their body on the lines. But obviously, when you wrestle a style like Rey Fenix, like when you wrestle a style like Penta, you do put yourself in that situation to kind of it's obviously everything's dangerous, but when you're also moving at that pace and you're doing all of that stuff, there's a little bit of extra danger, I guess you can say. But it's just like, damn, I was even going to say like, oh my God, Rey Fenix is killing in this match, which he did. It just did not end up the way that we would have personally liked. Mr. EMJ sends in a super chat saying, felt like 80% of this crowd stayed up and watched Wrestle Kingdom 16. They were dead for it. I didn't feel like the crowd was dead. Honestly, I didn't feel that. I thought that especially during the MJF CM Punk promo, when CM Punk essentially made that line, which we're going to talk about in just a second, when CM Punk cut that line, you could hear the crowd like big time. There was a couple people writing to me on Twitter that they couldn't even catch the last portion of what he said because the crowd was so loud, and they legitimately like reacted like stupendously loud for that. So we will talk about that in a hot second, but I didn't necessarily feel like they were dead. But maybe I just didn't, I don't think it was something that I really picked up, honestly. We got a super chat from Cadillac Carson who says, all throughout that main event, I'm like, well, who turned off the lights? Lucha Bros rule. Is somebody debuting? Christian Cage is going to turn. Jurassic Express won. What a match. I will say this early on. I don't think that they should do the lights out thing so many times. They did it during Malakai Black. They did it during the main event. I kind of feel like every time you do that, everybody kind of has like this moment where like your heart stops and you're like, okay, what's going to happen? Because the lights down effect automatically causes that. And for me, whenever you do the lights down effect, I'm expecting something major to happen. So I kind of don't want to see that happening so much unless it's like supposed to be, unless something's gonna happen, like legit. Like when they did the Malakai Black, like towards the ending when the lights went out, and I know they do this a lot for Malakai Black, but still, every single time it happens, it kind of throws me off, and I expect something to happen, and then you just see him go from the ring to the ramp. You don't need a lights out effect for that, in my opinion. But thank you so much to Cadillac Carson for sending in that super chat. We have another one from Taylor Cannon who says, Hangman versus Bryan II absolutely ruled. The Punk versus MJF interaction was so good. Give me more of that, please. We haven't even talked about that. Obviously, we'll get that in a second. Reggie Simmons sends in a super chat saying, wow, what a show. Definitely a lot better. I don't want to say a lot better than I expected because I was already expecting it to be good. But I just feel like so much happened. Hagen sends in a super chat saying, hopefully it was just a dislocation, but that looked awful. It did look extremely awful. Thank you so much to Hagen for sending that in as well. We have another super chat from Nick Grasso who says, Jade should not have won the title match, was bad, and she is not ready. What was with the blackout in the main event? Outside of the main event, this show was not that great. Oh, we got some controversy here. I'm not surprised that people feel this way about the TBS Women's Championship final tournament. Unfortunately, given the prestige, I think, that the tournament had, and given how many good matches we did see in this tournament, when it is the finals and you're vying for the first ever opportunity to become TBS Women's Champion, and, this is such a big show, and it's such a big moment, and, everybody remembers the first, you want the match to be great, and the match was not great, and unfortunately, the ending was botched and looked terrible, and instantly, I just kept seeing like this match was not good. This match was not good. This match really exposed Jade Cargill. I feel because maybe I and a lot of other people already knew how green Jade Cargill was, but they did a pretty decent job, I think, of maybe hiding some of that and maybe fooling some people. But since I already knew that, I really wasn't surprised when I saw the execution of a lot of this match for the TBS Women's Championship. It just did not, I think, live up to the prestige of what we were hoping that it would be, considering that it was the finals of this tournament. Again, we'll talk about that more in a second, but thank you so much to Nick Grosso for sending in this super chat as well. We have another one from Anthony Diaz who says, I love how all the tag teams came out in the end. Yeah, that was very nice. And, they came out and showed their respects and whatnot. That was a classy move. Alrighty, everybody. But let's go ahead and get into this because, like I said, we got so much to talk about. Again, as we move through the show, please feel free to send in super chats and I will be reading them. This one's from Drew Scott who says, I seriously think TK pivoted and put the belt on Jade after all the controversy with Big Swole. All right, so I knew people were going to say this right off the bat. And I was kind of hoping somebody would bring it up for the simple reason. And I will tell you guys right now that I knew Jade Cargill was winning over a month ago. Over a month ago, I already knew Jade Cargill was winning, but I didn't want to come out and say it, obviously, for obvious reasons. But I already knew Jade Cargill was winning the TBS Women's Championship Tournament. I found out maybe just a little bit over a month ago, I think. It might have actually been, it was somewhere around December when I found out. So this was not a last minute thing, guys. Like, Jade Cargill did not win the TBS Women's Championship Tournament because of the Big Swole situation. Again, I already knew Jade Cargill was winning, all right? So I don't know if that gives you guys any... I don't know, but I hope that maybe that kind of persuades you guys a little bit. I knew that she was winning. Thank you so much to Drew Scott for sending in that super chat, though, and kind of, getting that going for me. All right, so let's go ahead. And I'll talk more about the decision on that once we actually get to the match. But I want to kick things off with Bryan Danielson and Hangman Page, because what we got in this match was I don't know what to call it. It was a war, a bloody freaking war, okay? A bloody war. I don't think that I was expecting this match to turn out the way that it did. And by that, I mean, I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting for it to be good. I was expecting for it, or rather, I hoped that they made it different from their first match because they kind of had to. I think that the story that they did for the first match, it worked, right? And you had the time limit draw. Obviously, we had, our little disagreements about that and the time limit draw and whether or not that was a right call to make. But regardless of that, I kind of felt like they had to do something different. With that being said, when they basically announced that they were going to be doing the judges thing, I did not like the judges. I did not like the aspect of the judges. I didn't mind the judges whatsoever, like the actual judges, which we had Jerry Lynn, Mark Henry, and Big Show. All of that was fine. But in terms of the actual, I didn't like the idea of the judges is what I'm trying to get at. And the reason for that is I don't necessarily feel like it was really explained well enough for the people to really understand like what the judges were looking for, what's the criteria, what's this, what's that. I feel like they needed to explain a little bit more of the role of the judges. Obviously, we get they're there to judge, but it's like, I feel like they just could have done a little bit of a better job to really kind of walk us through the judges and the incorporation of the judges. Like, I think that's the best way that I can possibly put it, because I saw like a lot of people on like my timeline were really like, oh, this isn't really all that interesting. And I almost feel that this was really just done for us to think. Like, basically what AEW did was set us up to think that this was going to be another time limit draw. They did that by incorporating the judges, because if this went to another time limit, obviously we would need the judges to decide. And then also, if they wanted, by them also putting this match at the opening of the show, they also kind of wanted us to think that, hey, this match was going to be a time limit draw. We have a super chat from BG Thriller who says that this show was good. Ruby is beating Britt. I don't know about that, guys. I feel like right now I can't even make any guesses for the AEW women's title bout. We got a super chat from Baby who says, when I saw Jade's family there, I knew she would win. Why would you bring a little girl to see your mom lose? That is true. that is true. Good thinking there. Good thinking there. Thank you so much to Baby. We have another super chat from Havan, the legend, who says, very classy, not spoiling the winner. Thank you. How did you know the winner so far in advance? Denise does not share her secrets, guys. Denise does not share her secrets. Thank you so much to Havan, the legend, for sending in that super chat. All right. So anyways, back to this match, everybody. Let's talk a little bit about what went down here and what we saw. So pretty much, Jesus. So what you need to know is this match was bloody. This match was violent. And at one point, you legitimately could not even see Bryan Danielson's face. Like, he was completely covered in blood. My favorite parts of this match were really there was a portion where Bryan Danielson had the hair of Hangman Page. And as he has the hair of Hangman Page, he is headbutting the hell out of him. Like, that was really, really good. And this continued on and only got more aggressive as the show went on. We saw Hangman Page get busted open first, that he's bleeding buckets. I really, really marked when they did the dead eye. I thought that was really good. And then at this point of the match, we continue on. They're both super bloody. I really enjoyed that running knee from Bryan Danielson to Hangman Page. That was really good. And then they continued to headbutt each other back and forth. And at this point, I already said they're both bloody. They're both headbutting each other nonstop. Bryan Danielson even takes a minute to smile at the judges while his face is all covered in blood. We see Danielson get him with the triangle choke, and it's like kicking him at the same time. We see the figure four, and then Adam Page is kicking him. It was just literally brutal back and forth. For the win, we see Page hit the buckshot lariat. 1, 2, 3 gets the win. And this is what needed to happen, guys. We needed to have a decisive winner because you needed to do it. There was a lot of people complaining that, you know, with Hangman Page not winning that match with Bryan Danielson, and considering that it was his first title defense as champion, you don't necessarily want to have a question mark around your champion and whether or not he should be holding that bout. And I did think that Adam Page needed to get a decisive win. So given that they actually did it here today, I think that was the right way to go about it. Now, granted, obviously this ruins Bryan Danielson's undefeated streak, but the point is you need to make Hangman Adam Page look like a strong champion, look like a credible champion, and he needed to get this win. And given how this match went down and how bloody and how gruesome it was, this was a very good win for Hangman Page to kind of really this is a great start to his championship reign. So I'm personally looking forward to see where they go from here and how they sort of, keep that high for Hangman Page. But given that they do have a lot of talent, up and coming talent, making their way up there. I think it's going to be good. Additionally, I'm trying to think if I forgot to say anything about this match. I feel like there's more that I wanted to talk about and I'm forgetting it now. But let me know what you guys thought about this. Once again, you are more than welcome to send in a super chat and I will make sure to read this as well and get your thoughts here. This is a comment from Justin who says, I love this match, was totally different from the first one. Excuse me? There you go. Justin Martin says, I love this match, was totally different from the first one, a 30-minute firefight instead of the 60-minute more technical match. Awesome stuff. So like I said, 2 different matches, but in terms of which match I liked more, I feel like I have a lot of respect for the body of work that they did in that first match, but my heart, and maybe it's recency bias, but my heart is leaning towards this second match just because I kind of felt like I felt like I was watching something special the first time, but I also felt like I was watching something special the second time. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I like the second match more. I just think it screamed more of like something that I personally just felt like I connected with a little bit more. I was very interested in it, very invested. So they got me there. Good match between them. All right, guys, we got a super chat from Devin Schultz who says, another minor thing I like, they didn't need the judges card stipulation. Just because a stip is there doesn't mean you have to use it. Bravo AEW. We mentioned that they wanted the we mentioned that we want AEW clearly wanted the people to think that this was going to be another time limit draw. So I think that the judges were essentially just a swerve, which is probably why they didn't put that much emphasis on the judges, really. So now we get it. In hindsight, we get it. But prior to that, obviously, we didn't know. Thank you so much to Devin for sending that comment in as well. Alrighty, everybody, let's get to this. All right, let's get into this MJF, CM Punk, Wardlow, everything that went down here. And please, no drama. I don't know if there's going to be drama for this. Legitimately, I do not know. All right. So we were supposed to be getting the Captain Shawn Dean versus MJF. From the looks of it, that was the match that we were supposed to be getting. But instead, CM Punk runs out and ends up hitting, he makes MJF run away first and foremost. So MJF leaves. He sprints out like a coward. And CM Punk ends up hitting Shawn Dean with the GTS. And everybody's like, what the frick? Why would he do that? Why would CM Punk do that? And then immediately you hear the ring announcer, basically the bell rings, the ring announcer calls it and basically says this match is a DQ. So Shawn Dean wins. And so then we know that CM Punk purposely did it to essentially give MJF that loss and piss him off. I loved this. I love this so much because even I, for a second, was like, man, why did CM Punk do that? Like, I was fooled for a split second. I didn't know why he had done it. And then when it became clear that he did it to essentially piss off MJF and screw MJF, it made a whole lot of sense. And then CM Punk basically tells MJF, like, hey, dude, this is going to keep happening to you unless you essentially do this match with me, right? All right, cool. So let's get into the CM Punk MJF promo, guys, because this was a little bit nuts, everybody. So CM Punk promo, he calls him a little bitch, by the way. He calls MJF a little bitch, and basically, like I said, tells him what's going to be happening to him if he doesn't accept this match. First and foremost, I loved when CM Punk called him a little bitch. I thought that it was hilarious. Then this is where things kind of start going another direction. And so MJF basically starts off by telling CM Punk that he's fake, that he induces boredom. He says that CM Punk is nothing without him, says that he is the one that gives CM Punk edge, says that he is the one who makes CM Punk relevant, says that CM Punk is not the guy, but that MJF is the guy. And then he starts basically comparing him to Piper and basically says, like, you weren't talented enough to main event at WrestleMania, blah, 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 right? So then he starts to say, MJF basically says, if AEW doesn't start showing me any sort of respect, I am going to leave and I'm going to main event WrestleMania. And then this was CM Punk's response, all right? I'm going to read it verbatim here, okay? Quote, CM Punk said, and listen, pal, if you think the grass is greener on the other side, be my guest. Go ahead, leave. Main event, night 4 of a buy one, get one free extravaganza, and then get released faster than you last in the sack. And then get released faster than you last in the sack. So there's a lot to touch on there, everybody. When he said this, just even the first portion, when he basically said that WrestleMania was a buy one, get one free extravaganza, the crowd erupted, okay? They erupted. And then he continued on by touching on the releases. Now, with all of that being said, this was like, this first of all, this was a big shot at WWE, obviously. A big shot because he's making fun of the lack of attendance that you have been seeing in WWE. They have been doing buy one, get one free for certain events. I know they did that for Staples Center here in Los Angeles, making fun of, WrestleMania, etc. And then on top of that, him touching on the releases was very timely, considering the fact that we had more releases today, which included the releases of William Regal, Road Dogg, and many others, especially on the NXT side of things. So this was all just very buzzy, very newsworthy, and also like a big it was a big shot. Honestly, it really was. And now this kind of sends us back to this whole dilemma of what people are constantly arguing about. There's always a lot of people on my timeline and probably even in the chat right now, I don't know, where they're arguing about why AEW is consistently throwing shots at WWE. And this wasn't the only shot at WWE. This was the biggest shot of the night, but there were a couple more. But there's been this argument between people where they're like, we don't like all these shots that are being thrown. They're relying too much on these shots to WWE. And there are people making that argument. Now, I, for one, my personal thing is I love the drama. Let's be real. I love the drama. If the line is good, I will pop for it. The more drama, the better. I enjoy it. What can I say? I'm guilty of enjoying the drama. But it only continues pissing people off, especially those people that do not like these shots being thrown. So with that being said, how did you all feel about this line? Did it piss you off? Did it make you laugh? It didn't make me laugh. I just kind of had like a jaw-dropping moment. I couldn't even react. I was just like, that's what he said? Oh man. And I knew right away this is going to be something that some people are not going to be happy about, okay? Because he just touched on a lot of sensitive topics there. All right, guys, let's get some thoughts in here. Once again, if you want to help me out, feel free to send in a super chat. If you do send in a super chat, you get your comment 100% guaranteed read on the air. I will pick and choose a couple of non-super chats as well, but you can send in a super chat. F4W Online does allow me to keep 100% of all proceeds from all super chats. All right, let's see. Oh, this is getting crazy. All right, let's see. Let me get a couple of what is going on here. Morningstar says this cracked me up. It was a good burn. Flubba says the line was awesome. And this is from Devil Within, who says the people who don't like the shots can kick rocks. AEW acknowledges the wider wrestling world, and it makes sense. Lenny Banner says, I laughed. I'm always tickled by good stuff, and that was good shit, pal. Matt Hensley says it was a good line, and I'm surprised people got offended by it. To be honest, you're surprised? Oh, hell no. Like, I can predict now what is going to upset people. Like, I didn't even say my opinion on this, and I just like tweeted out what was said by CM Punk, and there were a couple people that were upset just by that being put out there. Like, some people did not like that. Let's go through a couple more. This one's from Lord Pelagius, who says, I'll be honest, it pretty much went over my head. That's interesting. Morbid478 says, it didn't really faze me much. I kind of chuckled, I guess. And let's go through a couple more comments here. Someone wants to know how many nights WrestleMania is. It's going to be 2 nights. It'll be the 2 nights, I believe. Yeah, they already announced that, didn't they? And yeah, we got people basically saying they already knew that this was going to upset people, etc. Wow. All right, everybody. This one's from John Ansel, who says the more shots, the better. There is somebody else who likes the drama. Somebody else. And let's see what else people are saying here, guys. The Centrovert says, this is good, though. Hopefully WWE retaliates and it conjures up a real war. They haven't really. There was that one remark where Edge basically told The Miz that other shows were using his name to get a cheap pop. And I feel like that one was the most direct shot at AEW, because that was when CM Punk had made that comparison about The Miz and freaking MJF. That was like the only time that I can really recall them doing like a direct shot at AEW on their programming. Like, obviously other shots probably been done, but like that one was the most obvious one that I can recall here. But we got a major super chat. Dude, thank you so much to Bridget Hewlett. Bridget, oh my God, so much love. Bridget says, I loved it. Thanks for all that you do. I appreciate you so much for sending this. Thank you very much. You have no idea how much this helps me out. I really appreciate it, Bridget. I'm sending you lots of love. We got another super chat from Anthony Diaz who says, congrats to Sammy and Conti. We all knew all along. Hey, man, good for them. I'm not even going to touch on that subject. I'm not going to be speculating on anybody's relationships or anything like that. That's not part of my job. But hey, I did say I like the drama, huh? All right, let's get to the rest of this, guys. All right, let's see what else we got. We still got so much to get into. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, MJF did announce that we're going to get CM Punk versus Wardlow. So maybe, I don't know, maybe this is where Wardlow finally says, you know what? Nah, MJF, nah. I don't want to do your dirty work. I don't know. Maybe this is eventually when Wardlow turns on MJF. I feel like I've been saying this every week. Like, oh, it's coming. We just don't know when. Eventually it's coming. But again, we just do not know when. Excuse me. All right, let's get on with the show. Let's talk about Chris Jericho and the 2.0 guys. I gotta be real, guys. I'm not loving this storyline. This is probably like my least favorite storyline that I'm currently invested in at the moment. I'm not necessarily in love with it, but let's kind of talk about it. Chris Jericho comes out, looks great, looks very stylish. 2.0 guys come out, they start beefing. Chris Jericho makes fun of what's his face's freaking square head. They go back and forth. Pinhead, square head, pinhead, square head. This was kiddie stuff. I was not interested in the kiddie stuff. I don't like the kiddie stuff. I'm out. This was not for me. The pinhead, square head stuff. I didn't laugh. Anyways, we see Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz essentially come in with bats and run out Daniel Garcia and 2.0. And that was pretty much the end of that. I don't have much interest in that. We got a super chat from James Handley. Thank you so much to James, who says, don't get me wrong, happy that Jurassic Express won, but Rey Fenix's arm injury just gutted the moment for me. Hope he gets fixed up and gets better. Completely agree with you. I feel bad that obviously we've been waiting to see Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus become champions. And like any other night, we would have been like, oh my God, and all of that, but not tonight. Unfortunately, yeah, I feel you, man. Thank you so much to James for also sending in this super chat. All right, guys, let's get into the rest of this. Let's get into, they also do they show Jake Atlas video package, BTW. Shout out to Jake Atlas, who has been officially signed by AEW. And let me take a second here, guys. I want to take a second and talk about Jake Atlas for just a tad bit. So I don't know how many of you guys know this, but Jake Atlas and I did a interview after he got released from WWE. It was probably maybe like a little bit over an hour or around an hour or so. And that was my best interview in the sense that he really, really opened up about a lot of serious issues. We talk on, LGBTQ plus representation. We talk about mental health. We talk about what was going on behind the scenes at NXT. What went wrong? So much, guys. Like, I can't even begin to explain. A lot of people that watched that interview, if you listen to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. That was probably one of the best interviews I have ever done, just because the story was very, very, it was a serious topic and a serious story. And if you haven't checked out that interview, please do. I think that it'll give you a better idea of what Jake Atlas essentially kind of went through, what his experience was with WWE. And, at the end of the day, everybody is, able to talk about their experiences. So to kind of see, given the fact that I was speaking to him firsthand and that I know what went down, I feel like when he announced his retirement, I felt really bad just because, again, I know that I saw his work prior to WWE, interviewed him before he even got to WWE. And so I knew like this guy has a lot of potential. And so when he announced his retirement, I was just like, damn, like, I can't believe this happened. I felt bad, but at the end of the day, people make life decisions and they make their life decisions. So when he appeared on AEW Dark, I was very happy that, hey, you know what? This isn't over just yet for him. And so when then it was revealed that he was signed, I just personally thought that this was a big win for him. And I'm excited to see, what they do with him. I hope that this is the place where people finally get to see the superstar superstar Jake Atlas. I hope that this is the place for that. But either way, they do play a vignette on that. And then we see an Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly promo. They address the fact that we're going to be seeing Adam Cole versus Jake Atlas on Rampage. So that's going to be pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty excited for Jake Atlas on that end. We got a super chat from Brent M. Thank you so much to Brent M, who says, agree with you on Malakai lights out too much, but I think lights out in the main might have had something to do with Fenix's injury, like a visual signal. Maybe, perhaps. I kind of feel like they might have been leading to something. Again, it seems to me like things, I mentioned this earlier, but it kind of seems like they may have called an audible on this. Again, I don't know if they were legitimately supposed to win the titles or not, or if this just went down because of Rey Fenix. But in terms of like a visual signal, you saw, if you go back and you watch like that little replay with Rey Fenix and, getting hurt, you see him right away, like call to the referee and basically pointing at his arm. So that was immediately caught right away. Also, thank you so much to Brent for sending in this super chat. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get to the rest of this. So we did get Wardlow versus Antonio Zambrano. Spirits essentially attacks Antonio before the match, and then we get a squash match, pretty much the same match that we've been seeing Wardlow have the last couple of weeks, where he hits a couple of power bombs and gets the win. That is essentially what happened here. But now let's go ahead and jump into that TBS Women's Championship Finals. Jade Cargill versus Ruby Soho. So this was something. Again, for those of you who just tuned in and may have not caught what I said earlier, Jade Cargill was always meant to win this AEW TBS Women's Championship Tournament. She was meant to win this from the beginning. I know this firsthand, so there you go. Scoop Salcedo is here. I got like one scoop. Anyways, let's continue on. With that being said, this match was not that great. It was not that great. The finish was botched. The finish was oh no. I was cringing at the finish. I was so scared. I was seeing it happen and I was just like, oh God, this is not looking pretty. Nope. Oh, thank God. They saved just a tad bit. Anyways, but let's talk a little bit about what actually went down in this match. Ruby Soho busting her butt. She went out there. She went out there. She had like a pretty, decent exchange with Jade Cargill. I think she did the very best that she could to help Jade Cargill, look good in this match as well. So kudos to Ruby Soho on that end. We saw a really nice shotgun drop kick from Ruby Soho to Jade Cargill, like right off the bat. Afterwards, I think did we go to commercial? We might have gone to commercial. Come back later on in this match. We do see Mercedes Martinez essentially run out, and from the looks of it, she was going to help Jade Cargill get the win by kind of maybe sneaking in an attack on Ruby Soho. But before she can even do that, Thunder Rosa comes out. So Thunder Rosa runs out there and she essentially attacks Mercedes Martinez. And so Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa end up fighting each other until they go backstage. Based on what we saw last week, or from the debut of Mercedes Martinez, we already knew that she was going to be feuding with Thunder Rosa, since she cost Thunder Rosa the semifinals match. She could have been in the finals match had Mercedes Martinez not cost her the match. So we already knew that was the direction that they were heading in. I like it. Cool. Thumbs up. After this, we do see, after this commercial, afterwards we get a commercial. We come back from this commercial and we see Ruby Soho essentially get Jade Cargill with a couple of strikes, which looked really good, really nice. Jade hits a shoulder breaker and a pump kick to Ruby. Good stuff. Mark Sterling gets kicked out by the referee. And then there's a moment where they do a couple of near falls, including a roll up from Ruby Soho. And for a second, I thought, is this it? So knowing the fact that, like, even though I knew who was going to win, for like a split second, I kind of fell for that near fall from Ruby. So kudos on that. For the finish, we saw the Jaded Avalanche from the top rope. And like I said, it was botched. It did not look good. And it kind of took away from the moment. But regardless of that, congratulations to Jade Cargill. She officially made AEW history by becoming the first ever TBS Women's Champion. It's going to be interesting to see how they utilize her as champion and what kind of matches she has from here on out and what kind of opponents they put her in the ring with. I hope that they put her in there with, girls that can that can help her look good. She's getting better. We have seen a lot of improvement from Jade, so I don't want to take that away from her because we have seen a lot of improvement from her. She's still super green, as we already pointed out, but there's room to grow there. She looks like a star, and obviously she's champion, so they're going with it. So we'll see how this plays out. We got a super chat from Hagen who says she's that botch. Yeah, we know it. She's that botch. Botch. Wait, were you trying to say bitch or botch? I think I misunderstood your joke. I thought you were Hagen, I completely misunderstood your joke. I thought you wrote botch so that you wouldn't write bitch on here so that YouTube would, because YouTube doesn't let you curse on like chats, I don't think. So I thought you were, never mind. I completely misunderstood the joke. Thank you so much, Hagen, for sending in the super chat. Oh man. Sorry, guys. Sam Fimes is like Denise ... Man, I'm embarrassed. Oh God, I thought I understood the joke and then I didn't understand the joke and then I caught it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on from that. Actually, let's get some thoughts here, guys. How do you feel about this? Thoughts on Jade Cargill winning, etc. Al Profe Jr. sends in its comment saying they have a chance to make a babyface star as the first person to beat Jade will become TBS champion. Okay, let's see what we got. Some more comments here. And this one's from, this is about the Fenix match. Question the mark says Jade is better than Goldberg. That's for sure. She's at least, hey, I'm a Goldberg fan, guys. No shitting on Goldberg. I'm a Goldberg fan, which I get a lot of shit for being a Goldberg fan, guys. I'm like afraid to say I'm a Goldberg fan. People come at me, man. Anyways, but we got people, happy for Jade, obviously. Good for her because everybody remembers the first champion. Ryan Barefoot says match was roughly average, bad finish, but definitely not the worst. Max says Ruby seems like a really nice person, and I'm glad she really went over, but I'm personally just not a fan of hers in the ring. Oh, of who? Of Ruby's? Oh, I love Ruby. Letty Banner says Jade is very much a work in progress, and when she finally puts it all together, she's going to be something else. That Avalanche Jaded was something special when she gets more experience. Good match. Jade winning was the right call, and Ruby clearly had a busted wing. Okay, cool. And let's go ahead and continue on from here, guys. We got a super chat. This one's from Hagen who says, I call her Jade Berg too. My goodness. You know what? Thank you for the super chat. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on, guys. Actually, before we do, a friendly reminder, everybody, that I do go live on here 3 times a week. If you haven't caught any of my other shows, they're usually a pretty good time. Depending, the more we have to talk about, the crazier these shows get, all right? But Tuesdays, I'm live to chat NXT 2.0. If you guys want to watch my review of New Year's Evil, that is up right here on this channel. Wednesdays, I am here talking about AEW Dynamite, and then Fridays I am here to chat AEW Rampage and SmackDown. On top of that, I am doing a bonus stream this weekend. So as you all know, Saturday is Battle of the Belts. I am going to be here on Sunday doing a Battle of the Belts review along with a Wrestle Kingdom Night 3 review. So I'll be doing a joint shows on both of those a joint podcast on both of those shows. So you guys can come in and check that out if you want. Again, that's going to be taking place on Sunday. But now let's get into Malakai Black versus Bryan Pillman Jr. Julia Hart, she's so cute. She comes out with her little eye patch and poor thing. She got misted in the face by Malakai Black. This was a decent match, guys. This was a fun, your average match. It was a nice, fast-paced start to it. I enjoyed it. Bryan Pillman Jr. did a drop kick through the ropes right before the commercial, which I thought was cool. This was fun. We saw a lot of reactions from Julia Hart on the outside, but we end up seeing Malakai Black getting the win. Post-match, it looked like he was going to do something to Julia Hart, but then instead the Lucha Brothers come out, the lights go out, and I'm thinking, oh my God, something's going to happen. Nothing happens. Malakai Black ends up at the ramp, and the Lucha Brothers end up in the ring. Stop doing the lights out too much if nothing is going to happen. It makes me it makes me nuts a little bit. Save the lights. Save the flashing lights. Amir Raff sends in a super chat saying, per Brian Alvarez on Twitter, Jake Atlas knee injury, Phoenix heading to the hospital. Oh no, Jesus. Sorry, 1 second. Let me pull that up really quickly and see what Brian Alvarez tweeted. let's see 1 second. Brian Alvarez did tweet, guys. Jake Atlas got a knee injury, waiting on an update, and Fenix has a broken arm and is heading to the hospital. So wishing both of them the best, man. Damn. Thank you so much to Amir for letting me know that, and I just pulled up those tweets from Brian Alvarez. Thank you so much for sending this in. Damn. Frick. Shoot. Oh man. All right. First and foremost, hopefully Jake Atlas is all right, dude. Like this, oh man, he has that match coming up with Adam Cole. Hopefully everything's okay. Obviously, when you are making your debut into a company, you just got signed, you don't want anything to go wrong in the beginning. It's like, damn. Hopefully that's okay. We already knew the Fenix situation, but at least now we know that he's headed to the hospital, and hopefully they will take care of him there at the hospital. But anyways, damn. All right, thank you so much for letting me know about this, BTW. All right, let's bounce back into the show. Wow. All right, let's get into the upcoming matches that were announced. So we got a lot to talk about because we got 3 shows that they essentially announced matches for. AEW Rampage this Friday. We hopefully, if all things are okay, we should be seeing Adam Cole versus Jake Atlas, Daniel Garcia 2.0 versus Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. Hook, which got a big pop again. You literally just say Hook and everybody pops. I bet you guys popped at home. I said Hook and everybody was like, woo, Hook. All right, Hook versus Aaron Solo. That should be happening too. Britt and Jamie are going to be teaming up to take on Riho and Ruby Soho. That should be pretty fun. And then AEW Battle of the Bouts. They've only announced 2 matches. Also, I should know this, but is this show going to be an hour or 2 hours long? Like, I should know this, and I do not know this. Britt Baker versus Riho for the AEW Women's World Championship, and then Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship. That's all that's been announced for Battle of the Bouts. So a little underwhelming. Next week's AEW Dynamite, we got a couple of matches for that. We got CM Punk versus Wardlow. That should be fun. And then we got Hikaru Shida versus Serena Deeb. That is now their 3rd match, I believe. Should be pretty good. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin. Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that one. And that's what we got. Now we got a super chat from Andrew Cook, who says, Pillman actually looked pretty good here. He's got great potential. They keep using him well. Love your work, Denise. Thank you so much, Andrew. And secondly, I agree with you. Bryan Pillman Jr. Is definitely somebody that I'm a fan of. Thank you so much to Andrew for sending in this super chat. And see, guys, I told you, I literally just said Hook, and the comments chat is exploding with so many Hook comments. See, I told you. I knew everybody popped at home thank you, guys. BTW, thank you for the correction. This is now the 4th time we are seeing Shida and Deeb. Shida and Deeb. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. So 4th time, not the 3rd time, 4th time. And thank you. Somebody also said that it is only apparently an hour for Battle of the Bouts. I didn't, for some reason, I couldn't know. I didn't remember if it was 1 hour. Thank you, Randy Rhea. Sends in a super chat saying Battle of the Bouts is 1 hour Saturday night. Thank you very much. For some reason, I thought it was going to be 2 hours. Clearly, I wasn't paying attention. Thank you so much to Randy Rhea for sending this super chat. Okay, guys, let's get into this main event. I mean, obviously, we've talked about this a lot. We touched on it right at the top of this. And damn. Lucha Brothers, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy for the AEW Tag Team titles. Woof. Man. It's kind of hard to go out here and talk about this match and what I was originally going to talk about when you have this essentially happening to Rey Fenix. But this match was awesome, obviously, prior to the finish, to the injury. This match was awesome. There was a really awesome moment where we saw Rey Fenix, literally walking the ropes, kicking Jungle Boy in the head right after Penta had literally launched Jungle Boy onto the ring apron. That was fun. We saw multiple Canadian destroyers, which was fun. I mean, nonstop action, what you would expect expect from all of these guys. Penta hit a Made in Japan, which looked really nice. The lights went out again. Don't know why, but they went out again. And then afterwards, we see the Lucha Brothers hit a Fear Factor, which was good. And then, unfortunately, when Luchasaurus powerbombed Rey Fenix into that table, his arm essentially got injured there. His broken arm. Bryan Alvarez reported that he is headed to the hospital. And so we had brand new AEW Tag Team Champions, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And I really hate that I don't sound all that happy saying it because I love Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and we've been waiting for them to be champions. But again, I don't know if this was a last minute decision based on the injury or if this was already in the books to have them become champion, because if it was, I kind of feel like too much of the Lucha Brothers reign was spent on FTR, and I would have really liked to see some more. So I think part of me did not want that reign to end. But obviously, if they had to call an audible, then that's what happens. That's what you have to do. That's fine. But I really just wish Rey Fenix the best, man, because that was brutal. It did not look pretty. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already watched that replay of the arm injury. If you didn't, go back and watch it. It's pretty, well, or maybe don't go back and watch it. It's not pretty. All right, guys, that's pretty much the show. I'm going to read some final thoughts here. If you want to get in any last minute super chats, please send them in. If not, I also do want to let you guys know, please, if you enjoyed the show, share the stream, let your friends know, come on into the other shows. Again, I'm live Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You guys are the only way that I have to continue growing the show. By helping me spread the word about it is how we continue to grow this show. So if you guys want to help me out, I would really mean a lot to me. Spread the word, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and just please spread the word about my show. It would really mean a lot to me. We got a super chat from Carlos Mendes who says, 6W, 5L, Lucha Bros, AEW title run. Oh, 6 wins. I was like, what is 6W? 6 wins, 5 losses, Lucha Bros, AEW title run, shaking my head. I didn't even realize that, so thank you for letting me know. Damn. Thank you so much, Carlos Mendes, for sending that in. And Lord Pelagius says, the lights going out makes me think that they had an ending that got axed that would have fed into that. I was thinking the exact same thing, actually, because I mentioned earlier that it kind of seemed like it was heading somewhere, because I don't think they would have exaggerated it so much with all the lights out if they weren't going to do something. So I'm curious as to what got axed out, if because that's kind of like what that's honestly the sense that I got, obviously prior to the injury, excuse me. We got people pretty, Ryan Barefoot says, still pretty sure that call was inaudible. Yep, I think so too. Obviously, we'll find out probably after this show airs, but we'll see all of this. Let's go through a couple more comments and see what else we got here. I think we got pretty much everything, guys. The Cooch 97 says, yeah, the air just left the room, Denise, unfortunately. Tony says, overall, I hope I have to give Dynamite TBS debut 5 stars. It was a good show, guys. Good show. They had a lot of really fun stuff. So even though we had an unfortunate ending, I think it was still a pretty good show. And I'm excited to see what Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus do now as AEW Tag Team Champions. Alrighty, everybody, that is it. That is AEW Dynamite TBS debut January 5th. Thank you guys so much, as always, for all the love, for coming on here, for giving me a try, for listening to me talk about the show. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you back here on Friday to talk about SmackDown and Rampage. Do not forget to subscribe to F4W Online. And if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I am about less than 1,000 followers away from hitting 50K. Please help me out, guys. It would really mean a lot to me. And I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye, everybody.